I want to first welcome everybody to this special occasion today. I think this is the first making history where the Navajo Nation is actually going to be signing a document where we will be receiving direct federal funding from the Federal Highway Administration. And this is something that has been a long time coming. And I really want to thank everybody for acknowledging it and coming out and joining us.
With this agreement that we're going to have here, which provides transportation funding directly to the Navajo Nation, it's eliminating the BIA, the middleman. It's always been a problem with that. And in control as the middleman. Administrating the amount of award to the Navajo Nation, what happened is that the federal highway comes in, gives it to BIA, BIA goes, then BIA gives it to NDOT. And the processes, they're so long, we have a lot of problems with that. And now what's going to happen is that the federal highway will give Navajo Nation have direct control over the funding. And BIA will be there, but what we'll do is that we will have the authority to draw down. And this money is only be used on maintaining the road, the existing BIA road. That's what this money is for. It's not for building new roads. That comes out of another fund, a service tax, I believe they call it. That's building roads. We talked about graveling. We have partnership with counties that now that we are identifying roads that are, we need to gravel for bus routes and heavy travel roads, the main artery of all the communities, those will be gravel. But this one is not for that. It's the existing BIA road that's out there. And that's what this money is here for. And it'll be 10, we'll probably get a drawdown, provide 10 million to be a program for road maintenance and repair in chapter community. A very important commitment of my administration is to continue seeking ways and means to improve and maintain roads on the Navajo Nation, particularly road used in transporting our children to school and those used by family, organization, and providers of goods and service to sustain us. The direct funding agreement will allow us freedom and flexibility to address priority needs through strategic short and long-term planning. The contract will allow NDOT to redesign and streamline contractual projects, program, and initiate to eliminate red tape and increase their efficiency to better serve objective of the Navajo Nation, allowing faster response to road issues. With the experience of time and implementation of the contractual IRR program and service, the Navajo Nation retained the right to increase their level and degree of responsibility over other IRR funding program, and resource remain under control of the BIA. In other words, the road control is still under BIA, and we've done that out of kindness. And what we're going to do after that is that they still have control over the road. The maintaining, we have control over it. The maintenance part of it is what we have. The main roads is still the BIA under BIA. But we are working to get that under NDOT too, so they'll probably come in later on. Self-determination, self-sufficiency are a major building block for Indian Nation. Our decision to assume direct control over a sequence of current IRR program is marked a major milestone in nation building for present and future needs. All right, provide controls and administration of IRR funding to complete Navajo-specific priority projects. Innovation and creativeness is a hallmark of the Shelley Jim administration. Will continue to do that. We like to have complete control of all the roads. We're also working on the landlord part of it, that we asking Congress and senators to let us be the landlord of our nation and they just be our partners, the senators and the leadership in the White House. And that's what we're looking for. We're striving for that. If we do that, then we have complete control over all the roads and all the IR funding that will come into the Navajo Nation. We have a lot of bridge to build. We have airports to build that needs to be improved. And all of those will be something that this Shelley administration will be looking for direct control. This is what you call independency. We need to do that. And we're not, right now, we're striving to be more, taking the role in society and be more independent and guide and do our own thing with what we have here. Our nation is wealthy. We've got a lot we can do on our own. So self-determination will kick in and I'll make it happen. So again, thank you for being here with us. Let me just repeat again. Some people will misunderstand this, but we'll get it on the radio, in the news, make sure people out there, Navajo people, understand the major, major problem with Navajo Nation is transportation service. That's the major problem. And people, every community you go to, they will talk about roads. And when they hear this, they will think, oh, I want to get my road built. I've been working on this for 10 years. It hasn't been funded yet. And they'll come in through the door. But let's make it clear to them that this money is the existing road that BIA used to maintain. We take care of that, maintain that road, keep it. Right now, they're not maintaining those roads, and we're trying to do that. But we've always been lack of money on that. So now we have that funding coming to us. So make sure the staff that are here, those communities, that these misfunding is for existing BIA roads. That's all, not to build new roads. And the gravel I was talking about, should not be used for that. Let me say this again, don't misuse it. We want to use it, whatever that restriction of that funding, we must adhere to the laws, the words, and the restriction that's with that funding. We must follow that process. And let's do that so we don't jeopardize or question in the mind of people that are directing these funding to us. We want to do it right and use that money. And we got a lot of road that we maintain. We will be maintaining. And so again, thank you. Yeah.
I would like to introduce our guest from Federal Highways as well as BIA Washington office. At the table here we have Mr. Jeff Panetti, who is the Executive Director for Federal Highway Administration. He is the equivalent of Mike Black at the BIA. We also have Miss Joyce Curtis, who is the Associate Administrator for Federal Highway Office of Federal Lands and Highways. She replaced Mr. John Baxter. Mr. John Don Martinez, FHWA Division Administrator from New Mexico. We also have Mr. Robert Sparrow, who is the Director of Federal Highway Administration Tribal Transportation Programs. And Mr. Burt McCauley, he is en route. They had gotten snowed in Denver and they decided to drive, so he's on his way. In addition to that, what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce Mr. Leroy Gishi, who is with the Bureau. Did I miss anybody? Yes. Honorable Vice President, Mr. Rex Legion, Navajo Nation.
Thank you very much, and good morning. It's really a pleasure to be here with President Shelley and Vice President Rex Legion, certainly with Director Chaco. You can tell from the number of FHWA leadership here today how important this event is to us. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak for just a few minutes and offer my congratulations on signing of the program agreement with Federal Highway. We certainly look forward to working together to ensure the success of the Navajo Nation Transportation Program. I also want to congratulate you on this phenomenal facility. I had the opportunity to take a little bit of a tour this morning before we started, and it's just a tremendous facility. We were talking about how we wished we had a facility that had the kind of facilities here and the beautiful artwork as well that's been incorporated into the design of the facility is excellent. The Tribal Transportation Program is a very important one to the Federal Highway Administration. We recognize the important role it plays in meeting the needs in Indian country, whether those be safety, mobility, quality of life, jobs. It plays a very important role. And the Tribal Transportation Program, which was formerly known as the Indian Reservation Roads Program under our previous authorization, is the largest component of our activities. And while we have been working in the last several years with a number of tribes, it's obviously very significant today to sign this agreement with the Navajo Nation, which is the largest single recipient of tribal transportation funding, eligible to receive nearly $55 million a year from the program. And we know when these monies are properly planned and used, they can make a significant difference, as the President was indicating, in improving the maintenance of the roads and the facilities and the bridges here in Navajo Nation. MAP 21, our authorization, will also provide some other opportunities beyond just the regular tribal transportation shares. There's a tribal safety funding authorized nationally at $9 million a year that can be used not only for safety construction projects, but for tribal safety plans, safety education, and law enforcement. There's a tribal bridge program. This is also authorized at $9 million a year to address design and construction of deficient bridges. And I was very pleased to learn that Navajo DOT recently secured a $1 million grant from this program for the McElmo Creek Bridge in San Juan County, Utah. This is a very, as I said, very critical program to Federal Highway, but it's also critical to be conducted in partnership with the BIA, and we will certainly continue to work closely with Leroy and his staff as we work with the Indian Nation here in Navajo country to move this program forward. We really don't see this as the beginning of our relationship. We've had a long and established relationship, but we do see it as a really critical aspect to strengthen that relationship and move that relationship forward. And please be assured that the Federal Highway Administration is ready to assist you in any way possible to achieve success under the program. Thank you and congratulations.
Basically, it states Certificate of Commemoration for the Tribal Transportation Program Agreement between the Navajo Nation and the United States Department of Transportation. Whereas this Tribal Transportation Program Agreement is entered into by the Administrator, Federal Highway Administration, for and on behalf of the United States Department of Transportation and by the Navajo Nation under the authority of the Constitution and bylaws of the nation and by resolution of the tribal government. And whereas under the authority granted by the Chapter 2 of Title 23, the United States Code as amended by Section 1119 of the Moving Ahead for Progress 21st Century Act and the delegation of authority set forth in 49 CFR subsection 1.85, and whereas this agreement will be implemented in the manner consistent with the Executive Order 13175, the Presidential Memorandum Tribal Consultation dated November 5th, 2009, and the DOT's order regarding programs, policies, and procedures affecting American Indians, Alaskan Natives, and tribes, and the United States Department of Tribal Consultation Plan as amended by MAP 21. And whereas this agreement authorizes the nation to perform the planning, research, design, engineering, construction, and maintenance of highway, road, bridges, parkway, or transit facility programs or projects that are located on or which provide access to the Navajo Nation or a community of the nation and are eligible for funding pursuant to the Indian Reservation Roads Program regulations. And whereas this agreement is made pursuant to 23 USC subsection 202 parentheses B parentheses 7 and 25 CFR Part 170 and amended by section 1119 of map 21 and in accordance with the Indian Self-Determination and Education Assistance Act, Public Law 93-638 as amended. Now therefore this certificate is presented to commemorate the consummation of the Tribal Transportation Program Agreement between the Navajo Nation and the United States Department of Transportation on February 4th, 2013. Signed and sealed this 25th day of February 2013. Signature line from Mr. President Ben Shelley and signature line from Mr. Victor Mendez, Administrator.
Say NDOT. One more time.
Ja, 이것들 쉐이렉스 지금 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 같이 버스팅 그냥 안에다 시체 그 내가 신나는 록. I just want to say thank you, but I want to say a few words about Navajo, the next account on Navy. What's your when you do the blessing wheel ceremony? Oh, Wampa Yin, the top. You sing the house songs by the Talking God. The first three songs deal with the house. After those three songs, the Talking God, after the first three songs, just set and no one sing next. I just sing three songs all about the house. Coyote, I got the high budget. Coyote already entered, and the Coyote said it. I didn't say it, but it was these Ocean case. I like, what's wrong with you have a house now. Quite a team. Out of a team begin. So the next three songs, the road songs. So you have to build your house, and then you focus on your roads. The signing of this memorandum of agreement is important to the Navajo people, because besides the home, we start thinking about the roads that we travel, and that's how important it is to us. And next to having a home is the roads, because that's what we travel. When we think about this in terms of our ceremonies, this is the right thing to do, is to work together to ensure the roads that we have, road infrastructure, whether they're in forms of bridges or school roads, whatever, we need to continue to develop that. I'm given charge of health and education. And there is nothing so much more important for us to have access to quality education and quality health care. And the way to get there, wherever we build infrastructure, facilities, is through roads. For those of you who are working with the Division of Transportation, whether it's here, the U.S., different states, I ask you from the bottom of my heart to work together and let's make things workable for us here on Navajo. That's how important roads is. Thank you for all your participation.
Good morning, everyone. I want to, first of all, give thanks to Federal Highway Administration and as well as the Bureau of Indian Affairs in making this possible. When we first initiated this with the leadership of the Navajo Nation, especially President Shelley and Vice President Jim, they were in support of this effort of moving Navajo Nation in a new direction. And that was the direction and the directive that I was given when I first took over the position, is find a different way of doing business, find something new, find an innovative way of doing business. We've been in the same rut year after year, and that was my directive. And this was one of my first tasks, was to implement a program that would be more beneficial to the Navajo people. And in consultation along with the Navajo Nation Council, Navajo Nation Council had a big role as well in the development of this agreement. They're the ones who approved it for us as far as moving this forward. So Navajo Nation Council, I do also applaud their efforts in trying to make transportation a priority for the Navajo people. And the other thing that I wanted to bring out is, like the President indicated, to make sure that we give proper information to the Navajo people as to what this Federal Highway Agreement does. And essentially what that basically does is making it a lot simpler to move projects through the system, making it a lot easier to do workable projects for the Navajo people, making it to better the system to where a lot of the projects move quickly. I know we have projects that are in the queue for the past, rolling those very well. Bridge projects that have been sitting there for 20 years, programs that have been sitting there for 10 years. So we got to do a better job of trying to deliver road to our Navajo people. And one of the key areas that we're going to address with this administration and also with this division is our road maintenance activities. And I think it shows now that when I first came into the division, a lot of our road graders were sitting out there. Over half were just not moving. Right now, I think to say that all of our road graders are out there in the communities. And that's one of the key things that we're going to be addressing through this administration and through this grant agreement and through Federal Highway, is how do we address our road maintenance activities on the Navajo Nation. And I think with this Federal Highway agreement, we will be able to do that. The other thing to do is, as far as BIA is concerned, BIA is not out of the picture. BIA is still a partner to the Navajo Nation and Federal Highway in the development of our road maintenance and road construction activities. So we'll be sitting down more with them, and more as the dwindling dollars go down all over the country. And we're going to have to partner up with Lily, Chennai, Jesse Thompson counties, and those are the activities that we're going to be working with this Federal Highway agreement. So with that, what more can I say? We've done what we need to do, and we've got a Federal Highway agreement, and I see Bob smiling back there. It's a huge accomplishment in itself for Indian country. It's one of the biggest programs in Indian country. And now we're going through Federal Highway, and again, I'm excited working with Federal Highway along with BIA and moving this program agreement through. Thank you.
I want to not only personally thank and congratulate the Navajo Nation on their efforts along with Federal Highways, but also certainly as a transportation official with the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And I know that from the very beginning, share a little story with you. Halston Chaco and I, when I came to work for BIA in 1986, and this airport bridge out here, if you recall, some of you who were that old remember that it was about 9 feet above grade line, or the flow line, and it was a project that every time it rained, people couldn't get to the airport. Of course, a number of things had happened. And at the same time, Halston was working as a planner. And so they assigned him the responsibility of seeing what he could do about the bridge there at the airport. And I was a newcomer. I had an opportunity to be assigned that project also. And so it was one of the first projects that we worked on together. And as many of you know, subsequently there was a bridge that the state of Arizona through the COGS was able to fund, and subsequent improvements to that obviously has not only blessed the community but been a contributing factor in the safety of the community as a whole. So a little story about Paulson and I when we first got started. So I certainly have ties to the transportation program out here, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work. We have a lot of areas that we still have to cover. Roland and his staff will continue to work with you. I had an opportunity this morning to meet with the region director, and she expressed certainly her excitement, her thanks for the staff being able to work and continue to work with the nation. Fortunately, she was supposed to come with me, but she had to stay back and attend the phone calls that everybody is dealing with right now with budget issues. So in Washington, D.C. So again, I want to thank all of those. I know a lot of you out here, and in more ways than one, we've had an opportunity to cross paths through the years as part of projects, and for all those who have laid the groundwork for a lot of this, a lot of the ARC committees in the past, and certainly the Transportation Community Development Committee through the years, and now the group that is now taken over and has made it possible. And certainly want to thank Federal Highways for their tremendous effort that they put forward in helping to embrace the nation and making transportation out here, because transportation is everybody's concern, whether it's BIA, whether it's the states, whether it's the counties, the tribe. We have out here one common partner, and that is the nation. So I want to thank you again for this opportunity and for the invitation, Paulson. Thank you.
When you look back, I think that I've been with the program for about a year now. And 1 year ago this month, we were officially dedicating this facility as a new transportation facility. 1 year later, we are signing a commemoration to partner up and get direct funding from the Federal Highway Administration. And that's a significant accomplishment, that's a significant change. There's going to be some significant changes. One of the other things that we are working with is, as opposed to the agency roads committees setting the tip, we are turning around and empowering the chapters and breaking it down into a regional planning where the regions, the chapters themselves, will be prioritizing the road maintenance services that are needed in their communities. Those roads will eventually be placed on the tip for construction by BIA. So those are a lot of the changes that we're looking at taking place, and we're moving forward. And I think that to now, I think that we've come a long way. So I want to commend the Federal Highway Administration, the Navajo Nation, Mr. Chaco, the staff. Without you guys, we wouldn't be where we're at. You guys make us look good, and we want to commend you guys for that. Thank you very much.
The Federal Highway Agreement. When you take a look at the Federal Highway Agreement, the best way I can explain it, sir, is you have $55 million for road construction that goes basically to the BIA. The BIA then, in turn, internally, they set each road construction. N55 is one example. In Eastern. That's the #1 priority for N55 is in Eastern. N55 is the #1 priority. So that money is given to, internally in the BIA, that's how that works, is they identify that money for that road construction project. What this road agreement, what this Federal Highway Agreement does is we currently have existing 638 contracts. The first existing 638 contracts is Transportation Planning Program. The other 638 program that we have with the Navajo Nation is the Right-of-Way Program. That one's over in Resources. The other 638 program we have is the Archaeology Program, which was over in HPD, is now with the Navajo Division of Transportation. The other program that we have under contract is road maintenance. Those 4 components of the 638 program, instead of having the BIA, working with the BIA on contract administration, contract negotiation, what this agreement does is that all those 4 programs are now given with funds directly to the Navajo Division of Transportation. road construction, basically, the initiative still lies with the Bureau of Indian Affairs. That's what this agreement does. We now have a tri-party agreement that will address all of the other concerns that we have with the Bureau. Even NDOT, you're going to do this, federal highway, you're going to do this. That's a tri-party agreement that we came up to. Instead of coming and bringing that whole pile of money over to Navajo, we agreed that BIA will still be our contractor for road construction. So I hope that addresses your question. So there's really no money going to the chapter. That money never went to the chapter before. The Bureau will handle all that $55 million at their level. Today we have a piece of the pie, so to speak, to where we handle our own programs at that level.
I've been involved with BIA Transportation for a number of years. Actually, I'm pretty new, 12 years. I've been involved. Sampson was a TCDC chairman when I came into the program, and from the very beginning, it was seemed to be a one-sided program where BIA is the only transportation outfit on the nation. Jesse Thompson has been the Navajo County supervisor, and I have a close working relationship with Jesse. We've done a lot of good things out there, a lot of good things. We have made a lot of agreements, and we have made a lot of progress. But with that spirit, this signing of direct service with federal highways is a big step, positive step for the nation. And from the BIA's perspective, we support that. We support the self-determination efforts of the nation. And so I just want to convey that from the chairman's, the regional director's office. We are in support of it. When you're the only one out there, and we have a tremendous need out there. When I started, I hate to say it, but the BIA is not enough. When we have problems out there. So I see this as a shared responsibility, and I see a transportation partnership, and we embrace that. We look forward to working with you. It's a great day for the nation. It's a great day for BIA, and we want to move forward. And like Paulson said, we want to make things simpler. I'm looking forward to those challenges, and I want to see efficient services. There's finite resources we're dealing with that we have here, that the nation receives. And we need to move forward and pioneer some new methods, techniques, agreements, what have you. And we're there to support the nation. And so, like when we deal with the counties, at least 10 years ago, we had no partner from the nation. I would always speak for the nation. And the counties and the states would always want to know what the nation thinks. And so we never had a partner in these meetings and these conversations. We'd always try to bring somebody in, whether it's the council delegates, because I worked at the field, I worked at the agency, I worked at the region. And so as time progressed, we're able to get more and more Navajo DOT involved, do take more responsibilities. I want you to know, transportation, it's a big responsibility. So think about that. We're all here to service that. Federal Highways is involved, has always been involved. Their stewardship of this program. And it's a big program, it's a big responsibility. So we encourage that, we want to move forward.